Yo? What did he want?
Your job.
They come here to this country and they don't even bother to learn English. That's why they can't get jobs.
We're gonna wonder what country we're in if we don't do something about it.
Justice system in this country. These damn wetbacks are screwing up America.
I'm here now with Miguel Trelles, who is the executive director of
Teatro Latea.
Thank you so much for having us here tonight. It's a special screening of Taught to Hate. It's the 10-year anniversary. What did you think of Taught to Hate?
Oh, I was very struck by how it presents all the sides, both the haters and the victims. And I think it really translates the whole, how everyone is a victim. So I was very impressed by that.
So tell us something about your facility here.
Well, the facility is, Latea is Latin American Theater Experiment Associates. And we do theater. We have a lot of works on stage. We also do film. That's why we have James Movie, and we're really excited. It's part of an Ecuadorian film cycle. We also do Latea music. We have Latin jazz. And we have Latea word. We have, people come and do slams. People also come and do more literary or critical things on stage. And also art, a little bit of art show. So it's a very polyphacetic, Latin-centric, but very ample, multi-genre platform.
Oh. And how long has this been in existence?
Well, Latea is now pushing 37 years.
Wow.
Yes, I have shared, I'm a visual artist myself. I just started this 3 years ago. But I have shared with some of the founders for the past 25 years space in this building. This building is called the Clemente here in the Lower East Side. And the guys that started it in 13th Street, on 12th Street in a place called Rincon Taíno, the Arawak Indians corner. And they dragged the bar here, and they settled here because this was an English as a second language program once the former school building became abandoned and derelict.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but you don't teach English here?
Well, no, that program lasted for around 10 years.
Uh-huh.
It trained a lot of Ecuadorians, so I identify with the ethnicity in the movie, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, you name it, a lot of Central Americans back throughout the 80s. But that program eventually gave up, succumbed, was abandoned, and a group of students of that program stayed in the theater, doing theater, and that was the birth of the Cultural Center.
Oh, okay. So now if somebody wanted to have their film screened here, how would they go about that?
Oh, they should go to www.teatrolatea.org, check our profile online. It's got our contact and everything, and approach us. We are constantly fielding all sorts of requests for shoots, from major motion pictures to students to indie filmmakers. That's for shooting. And then right now, I think next week we have a film night for skateboard films. So the guy called me up. He says, listen, I got this skateboard thing I want to do. I'm like, well, let's do it. So, the calendar is a tyrant. You can't fit everything that you'd like to do. We like to do our own programming. We're segueing from rentals to more of our own programming for the Latino and Latinx and whatever community. But yeah, we're always looking, but we do rent on occasion. And if there's a project that is both mission centric and it's exciting, we'd love to have it. We'd love to have it.
Terrific. Well, thank you so much for having us here tonight.
I really enjoyed your part in the film. I think you make a great debut.
I hate hearing that.
It was splendid.
What's happening over here? We're going to wind up becoming a bilingual country, and we're going to be on the outside looking in. You know why? Because we know habla española.
That's enough, Ethan. We should all be thankful for what we have. Yeah. And pray for the poor people who aren't as lucky as us. I'm here now with Joselo Lucero, who is the brother of Marcelo Lucero, who was murdered during a hate crime on Long Island. I'm so sorry for your loss. It probably isn't easy for you or your mother. Is your mother still alive?
No, my mom's passed away 4 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's so sad. So, tell us something about the effect that this hate crime had on your family and the effect that the movie Taught to Hate had on your family when you knew that James Garcia Sotomayor was making it, and were you glad about it? Did you have apprehension about it?
Yeah, you know, that was really chaotic time when my brother was killed. But months later, I remember James Sotomayor. He started doing a film, and I remember I was watching the news and say, somebody was making a movie about my brother's story about how he was killed, and then it's a mixed feelings, but one of the things, if you're using a film to prevent hate crimes like my brother, I think it's really helpful. Everything's
James was very sincere about that.
I think you guys doing a great job. And when you have a chance, always showing the film in places where really need it, especially now. In 2019, we see increasing hate crimes, a tremendous numbers, and it's really sad and disappointed what happened where things when my brother was die. I dedicated my life really to prevent hate crimes in the future, but
And bullying.
and bullying and hate crimes. I do a lot of public.
Kind of hand in hand.
I do a lot of public speaking and bullying and hate crimes because I believe is a connection with that. Every time I approach every kid, when I approach the kids, I say, this is what it is. Bullying, when you target a person for any reason, this is when you target a person for a hate crime. So when you combine that, it means it's a crime.
Yeah. I do believe that the death of your brother had made was the impetus to have some new laws passed as far as sentencing for hate crimes. I mean, it really brought to light when your brother got killed. It was a big deal. He got a lot of attention, a lot of media attention, and there were laws passed that made the repercussions more severe for hate crimes.
Yeah, when my brother was killed, there was supposed to be it was only one hate crime, which it was not true. We will prove there were many crimes happen in Long Island in the same time, and one of the agreements with the Justice Department was to the Suffolk Police Department had to classify and showing real numbers of hate crimes or no hate crimes. And when they come to the agreement, we can see the numbers skyrocket.
Yeah.
But now we see kind of like a decrease in this number, which sounds great, but in reality we see most of the people undocumented. There are no talking to the police. I don't think they trust, because one of the things they are dealing also is with any immigration issues, and they don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah, well, Taught to Hate doesn't really deal with the immigration issue, but I think what it does show is that everybody that's fortunate has a family, people that love them. I think you saw it from the side of the Hispanic side and from the American side. And there needs to be, maybe more of an understanding that we're all people, we're all human, and we might not speak the same language, but there is a universal language of love and connection, because we're all on this planet together,
I think when you talk about language and for us, it's no barriers. Normally every person that comes to this country, it comes from somewhere else. it comes from another country, and we build this country. This country is built with immigrants. You have to remember that. And the values you have to teach your son or your daughter is the values you carry when you came to this country. If you have a kid, or if I talk to my nephew, had to be proud who they are, where they came from, but also to understand most of the people come to this country, sometimes they don't even want to be here, but they being obligated to come to this country for all different issues. When you're talking about, asylum, or they come to immigrant for a war of different governments, or then because the government failed to protect them, and they had to come to this country. So and you have to understand, when you call refugees somebody come to this country, they lost everything. It means they don't have nothing, and the only hope they have is to make it in the United States.
Well, thank you very much, and continue with your good work of spreading the word of anti-bullying and anti-hate crime.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm here now with Rich Caban, who was a co-writer of Taught to Hate and also one of the producers. It was good to see it on the big screen again, wasn't it, Rich?
Yeah, it was. It's great to see you too. It's been 10 years, and it's funny how right away you see somebody and everything comes back. It's like we just saw each other yesterday. So and it was great to see Taught to Hate again.
Yeah, it was. We worked very hard on the movie, but it was a labor of love, and it was. We also had our moments of fun, right?
Yes.
There.
Oh, definitely.
So, what do you remember most about the filming of Taught to Hate?
I think what I remember is we did a lot in a short amount of time, which I always remember. James always had this spirit of we can do it, and I remember I'd see the schedule. I'm like, I don't know how we're going to do this, and somehow it would magically happen. So it was how many days was it? 6 days or 6 days?
Yeah, incredible.
And we got it all done, and it's the fastest I've ever worked on a film and turned it around, and impressed with the level of quality with everything, from the editing to the music to everything. So.
Yeah. And we actually brought this film it was an Academy Award qualifying film. We brought it to the Lamel Theater in Los Angeles, right? And we screened it there, and that was an event too, right?
That was exciting.
That was exciting. We were in a lot of film festivals. We won a lot of awards with this film, but the most important thing was that we did it for a purpose, and we were very. We had that it was very prominent in our mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell everybody, how did you meet James?
James and I worked together at MTV. We were both, he was an engineer, I was master control operator. And we first started working together. I had asked him to work on a film that I was working on. And I said, hey, would you want to be my cinematographer? Without, I just thought, because I knew he was interested in film. And that's how our relationship started. And I just remember when he came to me with the script, we weren't working together at that point. And he said, this is a movie I really want to do. And he sent me the script, and he said, would you help me with it? And when I read it, and when I read the source of where it came from, I said, sure, of course, I'm there. So that's how we got started on this project. And, and I'm thankful for it, because it's, I went a lot of places with this film. One of the places I think we also showed it was at Patchogue, right, when in the high school. Yeah. And it was very interesting to see it there with, the kids, the actual that it was based on, the kids actually went to that school, if I'm not mistaken. And it was interesting to see the reaction there, and how thoughtful and how positive everybody was about our message. Yeah. So that's, it's been a real gift. Yeah.
Yes, we did. We brought it to churches, we brought it to schools in order to open up communication. Why is there hate? And, a lot of it is lack of understanding, lack of listening, hearing negative things, and letting it really influence your life without you learning from your own experience, passed down, like in the movie, from Uncle Ethan, played by Nick Raio so beautifully, right? Yes. And we saw Arturo Castro, his career has really taken off, and Brandon Hannan, who, of course, played my son in the movie, and was on The Sopranos as Vito Jr., and we had Lorraine Rodriguez was fabulous. We had Derrick Early, our stunt coordinator. We had Tyler Fischer, we had Spencer Patterson, we had a lot of talented actors on this movie, and I apologize if I'm forgetting somebody.
And it's always interesting to see them pop up in different places. Like, I know, speaking of Tyler, he hosts an HQ game show on the internet. So I see him all the time. So yeah, it's funny to see people.
And now your wife Jen was involved in the movie. What did she do for the movie?
She was the production coordinator, and she worked a lot of just getting everything ready, getting all these extra things that you don't think about for a day of production. And she really helped me because she did it for 3 days, and then I took it over for the next couple of days. And she set it up so that it made life easier for me. So she had experience doing this, and so it was the first time she and I had ever worked together, husband and wife, on a film like this. So it was a great experience.
So I'm here now with Derrick Early, who was the stunt coordinator on Taught to Hate. Wasn't it great to see it on the big screen again tonight?
Yeah, it was. It was nice.
It was good.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So tell everybody, how did you handle the stunts?
Well, I had worked with your son before. We worked on that other film, which I won't name, and that made it a lot easier. So the other kids, I just showed them a couple of things, and we kept it safe, so nobody got killed.
Yeah. But you basically worked on the scene with the bat, right?
Right.
So
that's because they showed up with a real bat instead of the fake one, and we had to be really careful for that. So.
Yeah. So tell everybody some of your background, because you've done quite a bit of stunt work.
I'm do not as much stunt work as I used to because I'm a lot older now.
Yeah.
So I coordinate more stuff than I actually do myself, and right now I'm mainly making movies. Right.